Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make earrings, and I call them putting on the glitz because they're a little bit sparkly and they're nice for going out or everyday use. I've already made a pair here, and I've used little tiny tourmaline beads, okay, and this is a smaller version. I'm going to do a bigger version so you can see better today. Alright, so what I have here are about, I don't know, about 30 4mm. These are actually supposed to be fool's gold beads, and I also have a 28 gauge, probably about 2 feet of it. Okay, so I've done many circle videos before where you're wrapping gems around circles, but basically it's the same concept. Now you just have to wrap it around once just to secure it, okay? And it doesn't really matter where you start because it is a circle and you can decide. And what I'm using right now is I'm going on the other side and I'm wrapping it so that I'm using up that little tail. Some people will say to cut that tail, and even I have said to cut the tail before, but I like to use all the wire if I can. I guess I'm a little bit frugal with that. Using crimping pliers just to make sure all the wires are in. These are great. You don't always have to use them for crimps for sure, because I don't. I generally just use them to get the wires in, and it's because it's nice and round. Okay, so now that I have that stable, the wire, I'm going to just put one bead on my wire. So I'm just going to pick up one bead, and this is something you're going to need to take your time with. It's not a quick jump at it kind of thing. Okay, so I take one bead and then I'm just going to wrap it around like this. Now this is your stabilizing bead, so it might be a little wiggly, but you know, work with it, and then once it's stabilized you can move on to your next one. Okay, so now that I have that bead on, okay, now the bigger the beads you use, the easier this technique will be. When I used the small ones, it was a little more tedious, but again, so if you just starting, you might want to use a bigger bead. Okay, so now that I have that one on, I'm going to pick up two. That's 1, 2. And I'm going to be working always on the same side, okay? And I'll show you what it looks like in the back side after I do a couple. So now I have 1, and now I have 2. And what I'm doing is little tiny stacks. So I'm stacking the beads. So it's really important that when you are going to wrap your wire, that you are holding your little stack, okay? And then you're going to, and you're not pulling really tight, because if you do, it will make your beads bend over, and you want them to be a little stack, okay? So then I just take the wire and I'm going alongside the back side. So if you see, the wire is along the back side like that, and it'll show up a little bit more after I do a few more. Okay, now that I have that there, I'm going to just thread it right through one more time and then stabilize it on my wire. Okay, so this is what I have so far. And now I'm going to pick up 3 beads. And you know, you can see where this is going. This is, you're just kind of stacking it to as many beads as you like. Now the more beads you use, the more filled the circle will be. So it's really your choice to, you know, it really is your choice on how many you use, how many you have. Now even if it's not perfectly centered, don't worry about that, because you still can move this wire around. It still is movable at this point. Okay, so now I have my 3rd stack, and I'm going to guide it along the back side. Do not pull too tight, okay, because if you do, you will bend your little stack, and you want your stack to be nice and straight. Okay, and I have it like that now so far, and I'm going to just thread this wire through, and then, so now I'm going to go with 4 beads for the biggest stack. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up 4, because I'm going to make the circles a little bit more full compared to the original ones I made. Okay, and sometimes the hardest part is just getting the beads on your wire. But there we go, we got 3 and 1 more. Okay, so now we have 4, and if you notice, okay, there's your 4, and I'm going to guide it right along the back side, and once I stabilize this, I'll show you the back side again. Okay, now again, not too tight, just enough. to hold it in place. All right, and I'm going to thread this through just to stabilize it, and then I'll show you the back. Again, I'm always supporting my beads. Once they're stacked up with the wire, you're fine, but okay, so it's kind of hard to see against the gold, but if you do see that there is the wire in, and that's what you want to have. One side will be your wire side, and that'll be the one that'll probably be worn inside to your ear, and the other side will be the side that shows out. Okay? All right, now, okay, so just the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna make one full earring for you just to see. Okay, so now I have 4 again. And these look really pretty once they're all done. Okay, and make sure that you're gonna keep them straight, all right? Keep your little stacks, and that's the whole thing. Even just with the size of the different beads, you'll notice that one stack's a little taller than the other, but that's still okay. It still works out fine. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do one more roundabout. And I'm gonna do one more set of 4, I think, and then I'll start reducing the beads again. And we'll have our symmetry. All right, so there's my last 4 stack. Okay. And I'm going to put it around to the other side. Now this is you really want to take your time with this. You don't want to rush it because it's really important that you keep your little stacks. And in the end, you'll be happy because you will get the look that you were trying for. So if you're in a rush, it's probably not going to be the best project for you. Okay. So again, I'm just pushing things back in place. You can adjust as you go. Now I'm going to start reducing my stacks. I've got 2 here, and oops, a lot of them stuck together. Okay, and there we are, through, and I'm going to put now down to 2. And they're separating a bit, but don't worry, we can always push them back together. Okay, no worries there. The thing about this is it still can be adjusted. Okay, and I got 2 here. Oops. Two in. Stabilize, and so I'm at almost the last bead here, so now I'm just going to thread that through one more time, and as I go I'm just adjusting the stacks, making sure that they are right, and I'm going to take my last bead, okay, there, and now I'm going to have one final look to make sure everything is squished together. And then after that, I'm going to just wrap it around, thread it through. 1, 2, 3. Now, after I'm done here, I mean, I could do 5 if I want, but I'm just doing 3 for now. And trim that back, make sure there's no sharp edges. And then after I'm done, I'm just going to kind of push these down. And in the back, if you notice, there's all these wires. Sometimes they'll go to the side. So I'm just going to push them over so that they're all sort of lined up behind the beads. Okay? So then after that, I have my 2 earrings made. Now I just put some ear wires on. I made these ear wires myself because I'm using circles, and maybe the pre-made ear wire circle loop may not be large enough to fit around, but if you have one to fit around properly, that's fine. And then that is your finished pair of earrings. And again, you can adjust it according to what you want to do, just to push them a little bit closer together and all that sort of thing, and just adjust the wires in the back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe to see more of my videos, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye.